Throughout human history, only 25 diseases have ever been tackled with vaccines. Now they are being developed to fight the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. And while vaccines normally require many years of research and testing, scientists in 2020 took less than a year to come up with defenses against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. What's the difference between the major COVID-19 vaccines? As of January 2021, at least 6 vaccines have been developed, paving the way for the jabs to reach the arms of millions of people in mass vaccination campaigns. Other shots developed by China's CanSino, Russia's Vector Institute, and India's Bharat-BioNTech have also been rolled out for limited or early use in specific regions. At the same time, there are more than 60 vaccine candidates in clinical trials, which is the final stage of research meant to assure safety and effectiveness. The World Health Organization has stressed the importance of vaccine development to tackle the global pandemic that had infected 82 million people by the end of 2020.
Vaccines represent a major light at the end of the tunnel, but we have much work to do to make that a reality.
On November 9th, 2020, Pfizer-BioNTech made history by releasing preliminary data indicating that their coronavirus vaccine was over 90% effective. This means that under optimal conditions, there is 90% less infection among those with the vaccine compared with an unvaccinated group. So how does that compare to the effectiveness of the other vaccine frontrunners? These percentages are based on official efficacy data. Sinovac was expected to publish official figures about its vaccine in early January, but the Chinese company has already released phase 3 trial data showing 78% effectiveness. The Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine has shown a range of effectiveness in different trials depending on how the shots were delivered. But as pharmaceutical companies and research institutes publish their research, the coronavirus is mutating. New strains have been found in South Africa and the UK, raising questions about whether the vaccines will continue to offer protection against new, more contagious variants.
We have tested more than 20 virus variants with different type of mutations, and the result was always that the vaccine induces an immune response which is so broad that it attacks multiple positions in this virus protein. And you have just to calculate that 99% of this virus protein is not changed. Only 1% is, or less than 1% is changed. So the likelihood is high that the vaccine can deal with that.
Vaccines are only approved by health authorities after research shows they are safe. But the speed of the development of the COVID-19 shots have some people asking if the side effects of the shots have been studied enough. In general, vaccines against most diseases have some small risk of side effects. In limited cases, the COVID-19 jabs cause pain at the site of injection, tiredness, headaches, muscle pain, joint pain, chills, and fever. But such reactions are rare and last no longer than a few days. The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed at least 21 cases of serious allergic reactions to the vaccine made by Pfizer-BioNTech. After similar reports in the UK, Britain's medicine regulators advised anyone with a history of significant allergies to avoid the Pfizer-BioNTech jabs. After vaccines are developed and approved, the next major challenge is getting them into the arms of people around the globe. The historic urgency and volume of doses needed pose unprecedented logistical challenges, and drug makers around the world are boosting their outputs to full capacity. China says it can produce 1 billion doses of vaccines in 2021, enough to inoculate most of the country's 1.3 billion citizens. But China is also under pressure to meet demand from abroad. For example, Thailand is expected to get about 2 million doses of Sinovac vaccines starting in February. Thailand is also looking at ways to produce vaccines domestically. AstraZeneca has already partnered with a Thai company on a vaccine manufacturing plant that can produce 200 million doses a year, but most of that output is destined for export. Countries also face the challenge of training enough health workers to administer the jabs. Some parts of India are running mock coronavirus vaccination drills to get local health officials ready for the real deal. Another obstacle is the temperature-sensitive nature of some vaccines. To maintain a shelf life of up to 6 months, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine must be kept at a temperature of -70 degrees Celsius. Moderna's vaccine needs to be stored at -20 degrees Celsius. Major logistics firms have geared up with specialized vehicles and freezers to transport millions of doses of the vaccines to hospitals and other distribution sites around the world. The Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine and Russia's Sputnik V can be stored at normal home refrigerator temperatures, making them easier to transport and potentially more feasible for use in developing countries. Most vaccines have one thing in common. They require 2 doses to offer enough protection. The second jab is known as a booster shot, meant to trigger long-lasting immunity. The suggested timing for getting a second dose varies depending on the vaccine. Johnson & Johnson is testing a single-dose vaccine, which also does not require ultra-cold storage. The US company plans to seek emergency use authorization for the shots in February. Experts say the vaccine would be a game changer since it could put less stress on healthcare infrastructure. The largest vaccination drive in human history began in December 2020. The UK was the first Western country to start a nationwide mass inoculation program on December 8th. The European Union has sealed 6 vaccine deals with Moderna, Oxford-AstraZeneca, Pfizer-BioNTech, and other drug makers. But while the EU has secured access to 2 billion doses, or enough for all 450 million people in the 27 member states, there have been complaints about the slow rollout of the jabs.
É preciso termos a consciência que a descoberta da vacina, a produção da vacina, a compra da vacina, a distribuição da vacina, a inoculação da vacina não se faz num dia.
Without the purchasing power of high-income countries, low and middle-income nations must leverage other means to acquire COVID-19 vaccines. Some countries, including Peru, Turkey, and Indonesia, have volunteered to host clinical trials in exchange for doses. India has been able to secure a large number of doses by reaching manufacturing agreements with vaccine producers. Many countries, however, are struggling to lay their hands on any vaccines at all. The WHO is leading a global initiative for fair distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Known as COVAX, the scheme aims to deliver 2 billion vaccine doses around the world, including to developing countries, by the end of 2021. While Chinese authorities have promised that the Sinopharm vaccine will be free in China, there are reports from China that people have been spending as much as 400 yuan, or about $60 for the vaccine. Pfizer-BioNTech set the official price for its vaccines at $19.50 per dose. Moderna had been looking to charge $25 to $37 per dose, but those fees may ultimately be lower. Sputnik V has said its vaccine will be sold on the international market for less than $10 per dose. The EU is reportedly paying about $2 for a dose of the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. The coronavirus has plagued the world for more than a year, and it has killed nearly 2 million people. The hope is that the vaccines can contain the spread of the coronavirus around the world, and that life can slowly but surely return to a new normal. But while vaccines can greatly reduce the effect of the virus, they do not guarantee a person is entirely safe from infection. So, until enough people are vaccinated to produce so-called herd immunity, health experts continue to stress the importance of social distancing, and that we continue to wear masks to protect ourselves, our families, and the world.